Unit 9, Track 1.
Bangladesh, 1989. Tri-State, 1925. Joplin, 2011. Even if those name and date combinations are unfamiliar to you, I think that for meteorologists, they are synonymous with both wonder and frustration. Why? Because they relate to three of the deadliest tornadoes in human history. We know about the speed of these tornadoes and the damage they caused. But what we don't know all that much about is forecasting them. In fact, having about 10 minutes warning before one of them hits seems to be about as good as it's ever going to get. Why? If hurricanes and blizzards appear on weather satellites days before they strike, why not tornadoes? Meteorologists forecasting the weather have been conducting research on this issue for years. One of the problems with tornadoes is that they are basically wind, which is invisible. It has been demonstrated that they only become visible when they have water drops or dust caught up in them. Another problem is that although no one really understands tornadogenesis, the formation of tornadoes, it is believed that they form incredibly unpredictably. Tornadogenesis normally comes from storms called supercells. These are rotating storms that move upward because of the warm air. Now, meteorologists can take measurements of wind speed and assess the conditions to see if this is happening, but actually, the other problem is that most supercell storms never become a tornado. The issue with this is that there are often false alarms, so when a real tornado comes along, I'm not sure that people are in such a hurry to take cover. So those are the problems. What's the solution? Well, to be honest, the bad news is that there's no single solution. Meteorologists usually rely on computer programs that try to calculate what the weather will do by gathering information and analyzing statistics from sources like weather balloons and satellites. But I believe that the problem with the programs is that they are trying to predict the unpredictable. Now, you might think that if it seems so impossible, what's the point, right? Well, that's what I thought. But apparently, it's not a question of having to improve the computer model or anything like that. Meteorologists are now using what is called ensemble forecasting, where the computer runs several models at the same time. Then it all depends on how you interpret the data. This is where the meteorologists have to use their experience and knowledge to adjust their predictions. But given all these issues, the best that we could ever hope for might be about an hour's warning before a tornado strikes. Then it's a question of telling people and making sure they take it seriously. And the fewer false alarms there are, the more people are likely to do so. And with any luck, all of that should reduce the likelihood of having to add another name and date combination to that list anytime soon.